Hello and welcome to our one and only Advent recital. Today we're calling the recital the finale. Finale is a music term that indicates an end of a piece of music, usually with a bit of flair. I'm not sure about the flair part, but we are saying goodbye to this noontime recital series. The Advent recitals began on Wednesday, December 6, 2000, with keyboardist Scott Hagler, kicking off the very first recital. The series that year was called Everlasting Light. The recitals have been on Wednesdays during the season of Advent from the early part of December 2000 until now. The recitals featured various performers. This included musicians, a few dramatic presentations. We had a harpist, handbells, singers, dramas, small ensembles, and even some professional performers. We started the series at St. Andrew when it was in the building near South Glen Mall. I want to mention that the success of the Advent Recital series was partly due to our faithful soup people. The two main soup couples were Caroline and Hank Hankinson and Mike and Glennis Lee. Both of these couples are no longer alive. Helping through the many transitions were a wonderful team called Jerry and Diane Jarrett. They're still around raising grandchildren and supporting many of our St. Andrew programs. The Advent recitals continued through the pandemic, and we were able to explore even more variety of groups during that time. I want to thank you for a wonderful long run of these noontime recitals. You might ask, what's next? Plans are already in the works to try some new creative and fun programming in a different format. Before I tell you more about today's recital, I want to mention that our long-running Lenten recital lunch series will have its finale on Wednesday, March 6, 2024 at 12:10 noon. You might want to have this on your calendar because it will feature all of us on the music and art staff doing solos and duets and maybe some surprises. St. Andrew is a busy place around December. I want to mention that we have our big Christmas concerts this weekend called Melody and Verse. This Saturday and Sunday at 3:30. Beautiful readings, choir, orchestra, bells, and a chance for you to sing a couple of carols. Speaking of carols, today's recital is called Carols by Request. I'll be playing some of my favorite carols. For those of you online, you can put your carol in the chat feature, and we'll have someone monitoring that chat and bring those to my attention. If you're a fan of carols and hymns, I'm doing a piano concert called Hymns Alone on Friday, February 2nd, 2024 at 7 p.m., and we'll feature more hymns and carols on the piano. I want to take a final moment to thank all the performers throughout the almost 23 years who have delighted us with their talents for St. Andrew United Methodist Church Advent Recital Series. Wishing you a very Merry Christmas. And now, Carols by Request. I'm going to begin with, I know there's some singers out there, and I'm going to begin with actually playing a couple of carols that you can sing along with. And you know, if you're like me, I only know the first verse of things. So if they ever go to the second verse, I'm like, oh, no, and I don't want to look down at the paper. I'm just going to but I would like to have you sing along, and I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to play, because you'll hear what the song is, okay? So I'll do a little bit of stuff in between, which won't mean anything, but I'll give you a cue on when to sing.
You know, one of the big pleasures that I have about serving St. Andrew is I think our congregation sings really, really well, unless they don't know what we're singing. And then they just send me emails and are really angry about it. But what I'd like to do is introduce you to a special friend of mine, but most of you know her. And she's just one of my very favorite people, and she's so connected, and she always makes everybody feel so connected. And her name is Jill Hinton. And she and I, you know how people share birthdays and things like that? We don't have that. But we share a favorite carol. And if you've been in my choir the last few years, you know that I'm going through a midlife crisis for many, many years, through midlife and beyond, because I don't like regular Christmas songs. I like strange, unusual ones. And Jill and I have this one in common, and I think some of you may know it, but it's called the Wexford Carol. And it's one of my very favorite carols, and Jill and I share that. I've tried to do a few arrangements throughout the year, throughout the years of the Wexford Carol, and Jill's always like, yeah, they're not great arrangements, but I love the carol, and I know you like the carol. So I'm going to play my favorite carol and Jill's favorite carol, Wexford Carol. Are going to do some carols by request. Now, contrary to the word on the street, is I do not know all the carols, and if you pick things that are fun and happy and full of spirit, it's likely I don't know those. If they're dreary and dark and morose, it's a good chance I'll know those. And so the sound people, and we have such incredible AV people here, yes, they have asked if we can possibly use this mic so the people online can hear what the request is. And then I have a secret monitor screen in the back that they're showing me that are people online requesting things. So if you are online right now, you can type what your request is on the screen and I'll get that. So do we have our first request for a carol? And if nobody, I should have maybe like, oh, the Luann's here.
Not technically a carol, but my favorite, Oh Holy Night.
Ah, Oh Holy Night. Just give me a half a second. I probably shouldn't show this to you because we're online, because I could get in trouble, but this is the best book to own. It was probably published before many of you were born, but it's the Reader's Digest Merry Christmas book. And so if I ever get into trouble and I get really nervous, I can usually find a piece that I can play. So let's see if I can come up with something on this. Just for the record, if Larry was up here, he wouldn't be having any trouble on this. Ah, Lee, this is staying in the family here.
Do you know Angels from the Realms of Glory?
Yeah. Angels from the Realms of Glory. I, I couldn't quite channel all of it. If one of my professors is listening, they would go, "You probably should have gotten out the sheet music for that." So thank you, Lee, for letting me give you a flavor of that. Kathleen, how are you?
My favorite is What Child Is This?
What child is this? Yes. And you know, there's so many beautiful arrangements of this. Miss Maggie Wild.
I don't know if you're ready to tackle this, but how about Carol of the Bells?
Carol of the Bells. You know, the good thing about Carol of the Bells, but I don't want to hurt people's feelings out there, but Carol of the Bells has about 5 notes. So if you can figure out what those 4 or 5 notes are, we're okay. So the good news is that was one of our online requests too. So I was able to have that request fulfilled. Now, any other requests? We have, unless you're really hungry, we can go have soup. Steve O'Neill.
If you want to do your inner country music guy, Mary, did you know?
And I know that song in my head, but I don't think I can actually pull that off. I apologize. But it's a great outfit you have on, Steve.
Thank you. I knew that country western may be outside of your repertoire.
But Jill has another request. Wow, I featured Jill earlier, and she's gonna, hopefully it's not quite as extreme.
And truly, this is not entirely Christmassy, but tomorrow is Fran's birthday. Let's sing happy birthday.
Yes, let's do happy birthday. I do know that one. So does Larry knows that one too, so. Oh, I was going to go get my book and that might be a good hymn. I don't know, but Bill Kittle.
How about O Little Town of Bethlehem?
Oh, O Little Town of Bethlehem. And Bill, just since you brought it up, O Little Town of Bethlehem, I mentioned on the video there that I'm doing a hymn concert on February 2nd at 7 p.m. I'm just going to tell you, because you're sitting here and those that are online can understand too, but the piano is going to actually be down on the floor in the center, and we're going to put the chairs around the piano. And we're going to, Carly doesn't know it yet, but she's going to help me with some candles, banking some candles around. And I'm going to literally play 4 different groups of either hymns or carols. And the O Little Town of Bethlehem is in one of my sets. So I can practice what I'm doing with that carol, famous last words. But let's try O Little Town of Bethlehem. Thank you. Any other requests? How are we doing? Oh, we're kind of, didn't that go by very fast? I love Linda Lloyd, and she's helping me with many, many things right now. So come on, Linda. We're going to call you the last one, though.
Angels we have heard on high.
Angels we've heard on high. Now, it's a classic. I think you picked a really good one. I have to give full disclosure, and I have to remind myself I'm online, but Larry plays this much better than I do. But Larry, this is my show, so you're going to just have to... So I want to just tell you before you leave today that Diane Jarrett, I think I saw Diane come in. Is Diane here? There's Diane. You know, Diane and her husband Jerry have really helped me get through these soup lunches for a million years through many different servers. But Diane, let me just kind of have you stand for a second and let us thank you. And I thank you so much for coming out today and being able to hear a few carols. And I want to personally wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. Thank you.